Falconers from across the world joined in celebration of the sport of falconry at the second annual International Festival of Falconry held in the United Arab Emirates. 800 falconers representing 78 nations made the journey to share and display falconry as it's practiced in their own homelands. The adventure begins with desert camp, experiencing life out in the desert, watching falcons being flown and hunted.
We're just starting to fly them for the day now, so there'll be birds going away. But that's the main weathering ground over there. We've moved most of the birds over there now, so they're safe and secure.
Daily preparations of birds and camels assures peak performance for desert hunts and upcoming nation presentations. Desert Camp provides the staging area for the various bird teams preparing for the day. Falconers head out into the dunes to prepare the hunt grounds.
The food at Desert Camp was in itself an experience. Twice a day, we're all called into the food tent. We all wash our hands and sit around and wait to be presented with these huge platters of rice and lamb. Big pile of rice with a lamb, full cooked lamb laying over the top, and everyone gathers around and you just start digging in with your hands, and it's an experience. I can see how family traditions, a tribal tradition, if you will, is really bonded and enhanced by sitting around discussing what's happened during the day, what's going to happen the rest of the day, and actually taking some time to communicate with your fellow falconers, fellow family members, or whatever. And that, to me, was one of the more enriching, exciting experiences of Desert Camp.
As soon as lunch finishes, more training and flying continues throughout the day. As the sun lowers toward the horizon, animals prepare to retire for the evening. As Desert Camp opens, the Omani drummers and falconers from around the world join together in celebration.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It's nice to be back here once more, and maybe I'll walk around a little bit and it'll bring back memories of the early 60s when I first came here.
We had the eagle team, a falcon team. I don't know if there was an actual hawk team, but there was people working with Harris hawks and various different kinds of birds, all needing to be flown. And we worked out a system that allowed us to do it in times when you're not mixing eagles and falcons. Well, as Desert Camp started to grow and evolve, more local falconers came in. Of course, they don't speak our language, we don't speak their language, and falconers do what they want to do. They want to fly their birds. So we had a tremendous problem in keeping eagles and hawks and falcons all separated. And there was one point where a young terrestrial golden eagle was being flown to a lure, and a white gyrfalcon came from nowhere and wanted the same lure. And I don't have to say to you exactly what would happen if an eagle and a falcon came together, but fortunately nothing happened.
The sport of falconry depends on the passing of time-honored skills from one generation to the next. Throughout the festival, exotic customs are displayed by people from all nations. Everyone is welcoming and proudly shares their traditions.
Welcome from Tunisia.
Ah, Tunisia.
In the desert, camels are the most efficient and reliable form of transportation. These awkwardly shaped creatures have withstood the test of time, carrying falconers across the dunes for centuries. For those who grew up in the land of endless sand, riding a camel is second nature. But for others, mounting a camel can be a bit of a challenge.
One of the things that I found very interesting about the festival was all these nations came together. They're all brought together by the sport and the love of falconry, which was amazing because you can have countries that may not be getting along. You can have countries that don't really like each other, but through the sport of falconry, they'll stand side by side and discuss daily activities, flying and hunting their birds. That's what falconry is all about. It's really a worldwide sport.
Just outside Desert Camp, spectators could experience camel races, art exhibitions, falcon races, and other activities unique to the Middle Eastern culture.
this festival is a very clear example of intangible cultural heritage of different communities, helps with intercultural dialogue and encourages mutual respect for other ways of life. The art of falconry, which has brought together so many nations, embodies the concept of intangible cultural heritage because it is traditional, contemporary, and living at the same time.
Hunting trips into the desert that has no end, the sound of camels gliding across the sands, nearly silent, carrying you back to the very beginning of time. The hunt is on. The falcon has been released and is now in pursuit of the elusive desert hare. In falconry, success is not always guaranteed, but on this day, in the desert, the falconer has been rewarded.
I think everybody's had a good morning's hunting. We've caught 2 hares and neb, and we're going to go back to camp, hunting our way back, and when we get back we can cook them and have them for lunch.
Attention shifts to the opening ceremonies as dignitaries from the world of falconry converge to announce the festivities at Chihili Fort. The grounds of Chihili Fort are transformed into a city celebrating the sport of falconry. Each country brings their own style of falconry with native dress on full display. Excitement builds as the countries prepare to demonstrate their unique styles of falconry.
Beautiful weather, beautiful conditions, everybody's really friendly, and we've had a really good time.
And the birds are flying well.
The birds are flying well.
Very rare birds like the New Zealand falcon.
The New Zealand falcon, yeah, and I mean other odd ones like that short-toed eagle,
Yep.
and bits and pieces, and the little white-eyed shikra, which Chinese are using and the Pakistanis are using. He's performing beautifully for a little tiny bird.
They're throwing it,
They
right?
throw it, and the
Yeah.
Pakistanis fly it from fist to fist.
Wow.
And we do that twice a day, so that's really good. The little shikras perform well, especially as it was a wild-caught bird only a few days ago. So it's been trained in the arena, doing a great job.
This is a very highly trained team of horsemen which perform all over the world at national and international events representing the United Arab Emirates. And they're going to give us a great exhibition of their horsemanship.
والآن سوف نرى أيضا جلسة الأسد. طبعا حضورنا الكريم الفرسان ما شاء الله أعمارهم 15.
Early in the week, the International Association for Falconry had its annual general meeting here. And we had 49 of the 50 nations represented, and that's the biggest annual general meeting the organization's had in its 42-year history. People get exposed to everybody, get to know everybody, and you understand that there's a community and brotherhood of falconers worldwide, and that's what's important about this.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
You bet.
And now we see coming into the arena the steppe nations, and they're going to give us a demonstration of flying eagles. The fox lure will be towed behind the horse, and they're away.
وعلى الثالث.
The crowning glory of the festival came together on the last night with the Parade of Nations in a spectacular explosion of pride and pageantry.
Croatia! Serbia!
Join the International Festival of Falconry and experience falconry in ways you've only read about. See things you've only seen in photographs. Where a new adventure is waiting for you, and where yesterday and today merge, and memories are made.